All right, let's talk a little bit about the Wizards. Bradley Beal, after losing to the Hornets by 22 points, we'll take a listen to what he had to say.
You gotta have some pride, man. It's a dog. Why no dog? Just kind of just let teams walk over us, and that's just frustrating. I mean, it's tough because we're all adults. You know, I can't do it for guys. You know, I can only do it for myself. You know, all we can do is encourage the next man to be ready to go and, you know, accept the challenge. I can't do that for someone else. It's like, I can't do you guys' job. You guys can't do my job. You know what I'm saying?
I can't do that for someone else. Richard, what do you hear when you hear Beal's comments there?
Well, ultimate frustration. You know, again, there was all that conversation about, you know, will Bradley Beal resign a couple of years ago and will he take the extension? Well, you know, I'll go back to Carmelo Anthony a few years ago when he was with the Knicks and all of that. Could he have gone to Chicago? Does he take the money from New York? You sign that contract knowing that your team is not going to be very good. Now, you expect them to be more competitive than what they are, but it was kind of like, you know, Bradley, when you signed this contract, when you did this thing, you look around and no expert, no basketball person had you guys, you know, maybe the end of the postseason, maybe 8, but that's about it. So, you know, he's got to step up as a leader. He's got to find ways to motivate these guys. But ultimately, I hear a guy that might be regretting taking that extension.
Trust me, no, he's not regretting taking that.
Monetarily wise.
No, I mean, clearly he's frustrated. I mean, he's one of the great talents in this league. He's probably the best two guard in the game right now. I mean, I can't think off the top of my head. I mean, he's playing like it. And now he's not having any success on the court. And so, you know, I feel what Bill is going through because he's having this great season and it's going unnoticed. And, you know, it's like you're putting these prime seasons into waste. And you don't want to do that as a competitor because who knows how long our primes last? Who knows how long you're going to be able to put these type of seasons and performances together? And you want to be able to do it on a bigger stage. And that's not happening in Washington, especially this year.
Well, it's funny, Paul, the person I keep thinking of every time I hear Bradley Beal in this situation and then him simultaneously saying, hey, I'm still dedicated to D.C., I still want to try to find a way to win here. The person that reminds me of the most is Kevin Garnett when he was in Minnesota. And I'm just curious about your conversations with Kevin after he finally decided, you know what, I've done all I can do here. What has he told you really flipped it for him where after years of just sticking it out in Minnesota and saying, I'm going to win a title here if it's the last thing I do, he finally was like, oh, okay, I will accept a trade because it's not going to be here and I want to win somewhere?
Well, I have to thank the people that's close to Kevin because, you know, he really confided in Chauncey Billups, who's a close friend of his, who he played with in Minnesota. Tyronn Lue was a big factor on him coming to the Boston Celtics. You know, the conversation I remember them having was like, hey, look, you get a chance to go to the Eastern Conference. Ray was already traded here. You know, the Western Conference was already being dominated by the likes of the Lakers and Shaquille O'Neal. Nobody wanted to play in the West when Shaq was there. It was hard to get over that mountain. And I have to credit those guys. You know, he can go to the East, play with a couple of All-Stars, and give himself a chance. And so, you know, it was the people close to him because Kevin, he's a stubborn person. And, you know, that's one of his greatest strengths and also one of his greatest weaknesses. And that's what kept him in Minnesota so long. And then when we have our conversations over a glass of wine, he was like, I should have came in 2006 because we talked in 2006 about joining each other. And it happened just a couple years later. Who knows what would have happened?
Well, we will see what Bradley Beal's friends keep telling him as we go here. Time for our League Pass game of the night real quick. The Cavaliers taking on the Suns, 9 o'clock Eastern in Phoenix. The Suns beating the Celtics on Sunday to improve their record to 13-9. That's good enough for 4th place in the Western Conference, guys. Is the Suns' success right now a blip or a trend, Richard? Are they going to stay in that top half of the bracket?
Oh, I think they're going to stay there. And it's not because of their offense. It's because of, 1, Chris Paul, and 2, the defense that they play. You know, they're a top 10 defense. They've been hovering around the top 5. So as long as, you know, they continue playing that type of defense, you know, they're going to be able to weather whatever storm or injuries that they might possibly. So I think that this is a real thing for the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, there's only 2 things that are going to keep them out the playoffs. Chris Paul going down for a length of time or something happening in the COVID protocols. But this team, when they're healthy, they're definitely a playoff team in my eyes.
Yeah, well, one of the longest streaks not making the playoffs in the NBA. A lot of long-suffering Suns fans. I know how excited they are. It is really fun for the rest of us to watch this team nationally, too. They've got so much energy. I can't wait to see how this one turns out. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.